Okay, one Stanley strimmer, quite good nick actually. I've never did any work. The person wants me to have a look at it. Says it runs, but it won't rev. So I took it all, well, took all the shaft, don't need all that shaft on. I've just got this basic. So I'm going to strip it, but I'm going to show you what happens first in starting it. So we should be on. That should be on. We choke on. We've got fuel, so we're going to give it. Sorry, excuse my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 for luck. This is an auto recoil start, I believe. Is that what you call it? I do not know. Just hold on 1 sec. So you pull the cord to its maximum length, and it should recoil. Okay. Come on, my little beaut. A few pumps. Put half choke on and see what happens. I'm sure it's switched on. Sorry, it took a bit longer. Show you what I mean. That's what I mean. So what I've been told, well not what I've been told, but I'm guessing is we could have a clogged up carb because it's not been used for a while. There is a, on the other side there is a like a filter mesh on the exhaust manifold, which is inlet and exhaust. Or trying to think what else, diaphragm. So we're going to strip it. So for that we're going to need a couple of screwdrivers. Okay, we've got a star and a posi. Oh, it took a while to start that, I tell you. Right, so first of all you've got star at the front. So I'm going to start undoing the casing just by this. And then I will just get through it. This star doesn't tell me what size it is, to be honest with you. I'm trying to find out. If I find out, I'll put it in the description down below. Okay, 4 at the front, 4 at the back. I'm going to do on them first, and I'll come back to you when the casing, when I think I can get the casing off. 4 screws and the whole front panel just comes off, so yeah, just be careful. I think there's a clutch there, so it looks like it's just a shaft with the connecting cables here. I don't want to take it all off. I'm going to take this one off as well now. And there we go, 4 screws off the back. Leaving the fuel pipes connected for now. It's in good nick, look at it, it is immaculate. So it's got to be either the carb, I think, clogged up, or behind this exhaust is a filter. We'll have a look at that now. Or another thing could be the mixer screw actually. That can tend to vibrate loose a little bit. Grab this off and have a look. There is no filter on that, so we're clean as a whistle. So it's not that anyway, so it might be the other side, so I'll put that back together and put that back on. Pretty straightforward. Try and tighten them equally, so you do a little bit of a turn on each until you get nice and tight. And then push them home nicely. There you go. Okay, air intake off, just by pushing that down and pull that back. And that is absolutely mint. Clean as a whistle. Right, so one of the best ways to do this is to take well, you've only got one lead on here, which really matters, which is the top one, which is your input, and then that's your overflow out? Yeah, so bleeder in and then out back into the tank. Okay, so as you can see, this one here at the bottom, we might as well go through it. That's your choke on fully. That's like starting choke and then fully off choke. And then on the top one, if you watch when I pull the trigger, that's your rev and it fully opens, okay? So that's letting more air in and fuel, and it should go like a rocket. For some reason it's not. So take the fuel line off. The small one goes to the top. You can't go wrong, look the way it's shaped anyway. It's small and tiny. And the other one just pulls out, which is the return into the tank, okay? And that just goes in a little hole just down there, all right? 4 smaller screws for the starting recoil, and the larger screws for the main case on the front. T-bar and an 8mm socket, and we want to undo the outer casing. That's pretty straightforward, it's easy. The linkage on the side, I'll show you that in a second. That's just held on with a like a little soldered, I'll show you, it's easy to explain that way. I'll turn this around in a second. This will now come off with leaving the air duct behind. There we go, and this is now connected via that. And I'm not too sure till I have a look at that. I think there's a little split pin here that you can separate. Let me show you that. On there, if you can see that. There's a little tiny ring pin, so you have to undo that. Before I do any more, I'm going to undo the top. I'll look at this diaphragm and see how clean it is. I suspect there's no holes in that. The last thing you want is any holes in the diaphragm. Clean that. Okay, take it off, it's a bit. No, it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean in there. Right, this is like part of your float chamber, this is here, or your cut off. I'm not too au fait on these carburetors, they're that tiny. I mean, this should now come off in a minute. Yeah, there we go. I'll pull that off in a sec. I'm going to put this back on again, and there's a little tiny air vent just here. See that there? That's going to go over that one there. Alright, so make sure you line him up nice. And then put this back on. pop the screws back in just until we take the carb off. That's what we're doing. Okay, just notice now this is a slide and then there's an opening, so it just comes off like that. So I'll take him off, and then here you can see that. So we just slide that down, pop him off, and that should be now, apart from the fuel kit. Oh no, it all comes off together. Okay, let's have a look. Right, I have to undo the fuel tank line underneath. Let me show you that. Just push him off that pipe. Okay, or pull him out the tank, whatever you want to do. I just push the pipe off using finger and thumb, and that's it, that's come loose. So now I've virtually got the carb off near enough, so I might just undo those 2 screws at the bottom and have a look, see if we've got underneath there. That wasn't very tight. That doesn't mean anything wrong, it just means it's just the bracket. Oh, there we go. Leave that attached. Okay. And what we got underneath here then? Another diaphragm. I'm going to check for dirt now and have a good look at this. Okay. Okay, we have a good scan around. I might give it a blowout with the compressor as well. I'm just going to carefully remove. I'm going to check for that as well. Any dirt or any gum. I'm going to have to give it a blowout, but I can't see anything as much. So it could be the mixture screw has moved. All you got to do is remember which way around it goes on. So if you're doing it, you want to do one part at a time. Okay. So if you're going to take the diaphragm off, take it off with it and take it with you, and then blow it all out, and then put it back as you found it. Like, okay. You got guide pins as well. Look, guide pins there and there. So I've got my fingernail. Got that bashed. I can't see anything too wrong with this either. Might give the fuel jets a blowout as well. The fuel intake, I mean, not the fuel jets. But I'll take this cover back off again and have another look at that as well. Okay, so I've took the top off. I'm going to give that. I've got some carb cleaner, so I'm going to whack some carb cleaner all around it. I might even leave it to soak for a minute, and then I'm going to give it a good blowout with the airline. That's what, I can't see anything, but it could be just a speck because they're that tiny. Look, I mean, imagine that's my thumb, and that's the carb. Alright. Okay, I've blasted carb cleaner all around it and then used an airline, and I'm going to put it back together. First, the bottom cap on. Remember the little hole with the diaphragm, the front lines up. With the base, it can only go on one way. So it's going to be a bit more. Now you've got the 2 pivots, you've got the 2 little nodules in there to line up, okay? So you need to line them up. I might just start again. I might just put that way around first. Sorry, like so. And then drop this on top. Like so. When you put the base back on, remember the 2 screws going like, well no, not the 2 screws, what am I telling you that for? Remember that you've got to line up the wire in correspondence with the accelerator. Okay, so you can't get this around the wrong way. You can't. Okay? Pop the fuel line on. Before I go any further, I'm going to take off the heat shield and gasket, like so. I'm going to have a look behind this housing. I can't see, there's no filter behind it. I've had a look and there's nothing behind it, so I'm not going to bother. Leave it as is and see what she runs like. Pop that in there, line it up like that. Okay. Pop back on the air intake. Like so, make sure it's nice and tight. Slide on. And push him home. There we go, line him up. Let's come undone. 2 seconds. There we go. Once he's on, it brings it to its full length anyway, so you can't go wrong. So I'll pop those screws back on after you've pushed in the air intake. There we go. That's him. 8mm socket on a T-bar. Do them together if you can, just line them up. We don't want any air coming in, so just tweak them up together and then just bring them nice and just not mad, just so it just, there we go. Okay, pop back on the recoil start, so you're going to have to connect the fuel line to that one. See that? Yep. So it's a little bit awkward, and then you've got to push the bottom one back in through the tank again. There we go. That's pretty straightforward. And then I've just got to connect the one on the fuel line. It's a little bit fiddly when you've got big fat fingers. Ooh, that's annoying. 2 seconds. You might have to just line that up. So you must have just put it a little bit to line up the recoil. And then that's all right. There. Okay. Okay, just get it lined up properly, straightforward, 4 screws back in. The front part of this, you've got a cylinder here, just inside there, can you see that? And on here, you've got a clutch with a spring in the middle. I'll try and show you that. Okay. Oh, if I can show you that. And this is called a centrifugal clutch. And the faster this spins, these grip like brake shoes on the outer casing of the cylinder, which then causes it friction, and then when it grips, it spins it. Pretty straightforward, really. So this hasn't got to line up apart from when you're putting the screws back in. All right. This wire is your main one going in. See that little? Can you see that little slot there? Make sure it goes in that slot, and then it all goes together. All right. Lastly, put your air filter box back on. Like so, make sure it goes in the bottom. Okay, we're going to put the choke on. Oh, sticker's come undone. That's it. Right, choke on. I'm not holding my breath, by the way. My son-in-law has he has a, what do they call it, a sonic cleaner. So if it doesn't work, I'll just take it all apart and give him the carb, and he can put it through the sonic cleaner. If not, I'll buy a new carb because they're 30 quid. All right, let's give it a go and see what happens. Bear with me a second. Okay, pop it on half choke. Go on. Let it warm up a little bit. think it's that mixture screw now. Let's give it another go because it's not warmed up yet, so don't give in just yet. Okay, we'll have to do that as a strip down. This is not a waste of a video, it's just I just thought I'd show you that you can actually strip one down yourselves, which is a full strip down of the Stanley STR 4 in 1 or whatever it says anyway. Alright, if you enjoyed the video on stripping it and how to take it all apart, great, give it a thumbs up and that would be fantastic, and we'll definitely catch you in the next one. All the best, take care. Hope I haven't wasted your time, but it was a full strip down, so even I'm stuck now.